My name is Tessa Rogers, and this is my reverse engineering of a Nerf blaster. To start, what is the purpose of the device? I have a demonstration video here. It is to shoot a foam dart out of the chamber and across the room. There's also a suction cup at the end of it. It's supposed to stick onto a surface. How does it work? So when you pump the air pump, air gets pushed into the device, and when you pull the trigger, it releases the dart, and the air pushed in pushes the dart out. Very easy to use, not many directions involved. Device relevance, certainly the shape of it. They have hand grips, as you saw in the video. You hold it here and here. There's definitely a weapon-like look to it, although it is very light. It's only about 1 pound, so lots of different people can handle it. There's 2 different colors. The bright orange is here, here, and here, with 2 of the 3 being the moving parts, so the trigger and the pump, but also this is where this cap up here is where you put the dart in. So I think they did that purposely so people would know to use those 3 pieces mainly. And then I think the solid tan body was just to keep it as inexpensive as possible with 1 color plastic. So the disassembly of the components, the first thing I had to do was take out the 8 metal screws holding the 2 sides together. And after I got the 8 metal screws out, I noticed that I wasn't going to be able to get the 2 sides of the frame apart until I took off the round tip where you put the dart in. So I had to wedge that off with a flat iron screw, flathead screwdriver. And then after I got that off, then I could see all the insides with the trigger and metal spring kind of falling out right after I took the sides apart. And then I was able to get a closer look at the air pump inside this white chamber right here. And then this was the blast chamber that the dart rested on. And then definitely all of these different parts were made of plastic, so they were rigid. They're definitely durable. A lot of the pieces were fused together with some sort of strong adhesive glue. And then there was also a lubricant that was around some of the pieces, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Definitely these parts would have to go to a landfill. They wouldn't be recyclable, at least at this point in time. So my analysis of the function, structure, and manufacturing of this Nerf blaster. First, the function. Looking at the trigger function into this, what happens to it on the inside. So once you push the air into this chamber, it gets stored in this gasket looking area right here. And then there's this little button underneath that when you push that trigger, the air pressure that's been built up gets released up into this upper chamber, which then, if the dart's on the end of it, pushes the dart out of the device. And then I also looked at the airtight seals on both of the chambers that had to be pretty secure in order to store the air and then be able to release it when the trigger is pushed in, and the button right underneath here is pushed up. And then the structure itself with the foam darts, it's very easy to use. You know, you pop the dart right on the top there. Sometimes you can even push the trigger without pumping very much air in and it still works. It's probably easy to manufacture. Everything's plastic. And it looks like there's 8 screws that put it together. I'm sure that there's some sort of frame that they keep replicating. Certainly inexpensive. So is there any kind of competition when it comes to these Nerf blasters? I did do some research. I looked for different other makes and models, and it kept coming up with different makes and models of these Nerf blasters. Some of them are automatic. Some of them are different they shoot out water and things like that. I'm sure there's different competition, but they certainly have a monopoly on these devices that shoot these foam darts out in a semi-safe way. Definitely inexpensive to make. They're lightweight and they're easy to use. And it works for a variety of ages and interests. So my daughters enjoy it. My husband enjoys it. Their grandparents think they're fun. Is there room for improvement? Well, the whole thing is made out of plastic, so that's a downside. I think that can certainly be improved, possibly even that you could send the old broken Nerf guns back to the manufacturer and they could recycle the parts in order to make new Nerf guns. Also, that the darts are foam, so maybe a feature could be that they would be biodegradable, especially since a lot of kids play with these outside. And in particular, modifying the design, I thought that I could increase the air chamber airtight seal so that it could project farther or even shorter. It seemed that no matter how many times I pumped it, that it still kind of went the same distance, whether that was 1 pump or 10. So just a little bit of variety there, and also to maximize the distance the dart travels. I also thought about adding grease to the gaskets to reduce friction. So there already was this lubricant on different parts of the pump and the gasket and the chambers. But I thought that possibly since it's inside these 2 sides, that if you added some more grease, that would make it easier to use. I also thought about some other uses for it, since a lot of toys come with dual purposes, like for example, the transformer, right? So you could have a car or you can turn it into a robot. So I thought maybe with a Nerf blaster that it would be kind of cool if they could have it blow bubbles, like fill the chamber with bubbles, or be able to fill up a balloon, or even have it fill up air in your bicycle tire. So I thought all of those would be a step up from the just overall purpose of shooting a Nerf dart out of the chamber. Looking forward to your feedback.